What up, everybody? Today I'm going to be going through the production of my song with my thoughts. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, first things first, you got the guitar. So this is what it sounded like dry, just with the way I recorded it. And I just kind of incrementally tried to nudge it towards where I wanted it to go. So first things first, I'm taking an EQ and I'm cutting out some of these low frequencies here. I'm taking a compressor, I'm squashing the signal a little bit just to get a little bit more even, catch the peaks. And then I'm using a multi-band to just kind of take out some of the lows. Next, I'm using the amp simulator. I'm just trying to get a tone here. So I love Archetype because it's really, really nice for guitars. Then I'm just doing a couple subtle things. I'm trying to slowly nudge it towards a fuller tone. So I'm doing things to give it a little bit of body. So here's Maserati plugin, saturator. And then I'm using this chorus called Tal Chorus. It's emulating the Juno 106 and it just pushes it into a different space. It widens the shit out of it and it makes it a little bit more chorusy too, which is nice. If you're wearing headphones, it'll be easier to tell the difference here, but you can hear kind of just the widening happening. Here's off. Yeah, it just takes it in a different space. It's really nice. Finally, I'm using two different room reverbs here. One of them's super wet and it's like a low decay time. It gives this kind of shadow to it, and I'll show you what I mean here. Here's dry. And with. Just like pushes it into a different space. I'm a really big fan of Valhalla Room, so I get that by putting a really short decay time, emulating a really, really small room, and just taking the reflections of that. Then I'm adding an Ocean Wave too. And it just kind of like gives it another dimension, adds a little bit more space. That brings us into the chorus. I'm just going to play the chorus and kind of go over what's in it after that. Need my hair stopped, some cool water to the face right now. Thinking all night, dizzy, cause on my feet I'm a philosopher. I just wanna get on my thoughts. Okay, so firstly, I got these cool little background vocals that I recorded through this mic. And so you're not typically supposed to record vocals to that mic, but I wanted a different color. And so you can hear dry, these vocals sound like very dark. And so like right out the gate, I'm trying to brighten them up with EQ. So after I EQ'd them, they sound like this. Hear them a little better. Crank them up. So just like way brighter and trying to get like high frequencies in there. And I'm just trying to push it to kind of get it to be nice and bright and kind of feeling joyful, I guess. So here's what I settled on. So this room reverb is doing a lot of work here. It's like a longer decay reverb, and I like to use the same reverb sometimes from guitar to vocals, just consistent spacing. We got that going on, and here's just the guitar and the background vocals. Next we got the drums going. For the drums, I was just like, I got the kick and snare going first, and here's what that sounds like. Just kidding. Here's what that sounds like. Add in some hats after. Tambourine, because I was just feeling like this track needs some tambourine. And then this little percussion loop, which kind of fills it out. Here's the loop on its own. Gives it those kind of ghost notes that just like pushes the beat along and makes it just like gives a little bit more of a pocket. And then I think I have a little kind of crash cymbal here. That's cool. I'm just trying to feel for the smack of it. Like I'm really trying to make them kind of feel like a good pocket on them. So here's them dry with processing. I'm using a couple different saturators here to kind of get a little bit more meat on the drums, but I think the biggest thing is that I'm using this compressor distressor, and I'm also using transient master, which basically just takes the attack and like sharpens it. And I'm also taking out some sustain out of it. If I take the little room reverb I have off of it, you can hear what the compressor's doing. With obviously got louder, but it's also controlling the transients. So I'm trying to let through enough of the the snare smack, and also tame the tail a little bit, just so it just like has that kind of like, bah! And then this transient master, I'll play it and then turn it on. I'll play it without and with. It's just gonna take a little bit of the ends of things off and take the transients or the smacks of things or the beginning of the sounds and amp them up a little bit. So here's without, with. Everything just gets a little bit tighter. It cleans up a little bit of the messiness of the loop, and it in the mix it sounds really nice and punchy. I have this for a bass. The bass, I'm not doing anything super drastic. Here's dry. And then here's after processing. So it's, it's definitely louder, but I'm just getting a little bit more roundness on the bottom, I guess. Moving to the vocals, I have one main vocal. Hey, start some cool water to the face right now. And then I have two kind of around it. So I have two doubles that are lower in volume and a little bit panned outwards. So here's what they sound like dry. Hey, start some cool water to the face right now. And wet. Thinking all night, dizzy, 'cause on my feet I'm a philosopher. Basically what I'm doing here, I mean, anytime I'm trying to process vocals, I'm usually trying to give myself a little boost in the high end, and I'm cutting out lows that I don't need. So I don't need anything below 100 in my vocal in this track. It's not super intimate. There's a lot of bass, there's kick going on, so that nothing needs to be happening down there in my vocal. So I'm cutting that out. And then after that, I'm just using quite a few compressors. I'm using one to catch the peaks right away. So that's just kind of squashing it down a little bit. Next one is more of a glue compressor. So it's just kind of gluing it a little bit. I'm also using CLA, which I'm a big fan of. And that's going to be kind of, all these compressors are kind of incrementally squashing the vocal a little bit and bringing it right up front and present. So that if I take the reverb off, you can hear how forward the vocal sounds. Hey, start some cool water to the face right now. Thinking all night. But I'm also not a mix engineer, so maybe I don't know shit. I don't know. To me, it sounds forward, and I was trying to get it like up front for the compression's sake, and then I was just trying to kind of sit it back a little bit after that with my room reverb and my kind of long tail reverb. Hey, start some cool water to the face right now. Thinking all night. A couple of cool synth things I do in this chorus. So I have a little swell here. That's just the Juno. I think what I did was I played a note and then I reversed it, and then I also put like a little tremolo on it. I don't know why it sounded so weird saying that. Yeah, so I automated that to kind of ramp up towards the end. And it's just a subtle thing that takes us into the second half of the chorus, if you listen here. I just wanna get on my thoughts. That felt good to me. Got another little synth thing here. Damn, that is beautiful. Holy shit. I forgot I had that. Yeah, it's just kind of echoing the chords, I guess. hear it's kind of dragging behind, but I like it. They're just like nice low plucks. And that's the chorus. There's not a whole lot going on in the first chorus. Like that's drums, bass, guitar, couple synths, vocals, and background vocals. That's pretty sparse for me. Heading into the verse now.
Double zennies. I'm on a roller. It's on like the zennies. Give me that over. I'll take whatever you got.
Okay, cool. Main thing happening there. The bass is still going through as it does for most of the song. But we got some new background vocals. That's the full background vocal that I recorded, and I just like chopped it up for the chorus.
I'm on a roller. It's on like the zennies.
Got a couple things happening, bring us into like the next, I guess like half of that little section. We get this little plucky guitar line. Yeah, kind of cute. And then it's kind of almost counterplayed. There's like a counterpoint happening. I don't know if this is counterpoint. I'm not classical, but so that's like a really nice moment because you get that happening with the guitar, and it just makes this kind of like. And so the synth part is going down. Just kidding, that's upwards. And then the guitar part's going down. I don't know, I really like that. And then it just lands on this nice little smudgy little pad. I don't remember how I made that. Really sad about it. A lot of these sounds though are like from the Prophet and just like straight out of the Prophet. So like I would tweak them in the Prophet, but I'm not doing a whole lot in terms of like what's actually on the track. Like there's just reverb on this. And it sounds nice. So throughout this whole verse and throughout both the verses, it's just kind of like one thing leading into another, and it's kind of free flowing. So you have a lot of that's happening with the guitar and synth. So we land here. You know, it's just ludicrous. It's like a ludicrous feeling, kind of happy and jovial, but in a crazy way. Then altogether, it's just being accented. Those jump stops.
Give me that over. I'll take whatever you got.
And then we kind of land into this bigger section where we're like, okay, now we're getting going.
Not really looking for a good time, just a different space in a couple hours of quiet.
Again, like the guitar and the synth are locking that pocket kind of. And then we're in the new section. A couple of things I've sprinkled in here. I have this sample here.
I'll take whatever you got. Not really looking for
this thing. Sounds so cool. It kind of reminded me of like the old school hip hop tracks where they would sample like old soul and speed it up. That's essentially what I did. I took these vocals and I just sped them up and let Ableton kind of warp them however Ableton wanted to, and it made some really weird sounds, but I love it. And here's one.
in a couple hours.
It just gives it this like whimsical texture.
Not really looking for a good time, just a different space in a couple hours of quiet.
So we have that quiet, And then that leads us into this next section.
Quiet, live good while you can, but you don't last. You think you'll always have a 10 without looking 10. You think you're coming up just.
So I have this this guitar that I've named Guitar Aloha. I don't know, it feels very tropical to me. The synth. Those synths are kind of like helping along like tiny details, I feel like, is why that feels good to me. It's like I put that vibrato in there. So it's almost like, you know, like it's a swell into it. And so that just kind of like, it's all these things that kind of move energy along for me.
10 without looking 10. You think you're coming up just sipping vodka cream. You think it's easy, had it easy and still feeling sad.
That's a fun little one. And then we hit that motif, that da 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 da, again into the chorus.
Think you're coming up just sipping vodka cream. You think it's easy, had it easy and still feeling sad. Need my hair stopped, some cool water to the face right now.
This part's like mostly the same. In terms of the second chorus, like it's very similar to the first chorus, and a lot of it's just straight looped. But I do have a new addition, so I added this new guitar here. And so that's like kind of tucked back, but it gives it a different groove. And I have like a phaser on it and distortion, but other than that, it's still going into the same processing as the other guitar. So it feels similar, same space, but a little bit different processing. And so you can kind of hear it in this chorus, pushing the groove along.
Hair stopped, some cool water to the face right now. Thinking all night, dizzy, 'cause on my feet I'm a philosopher.
That's another moment that I absolutely love in this song. I kind of pushed the arrangement here, so it'll be like
Face right now, thinking all night, dizzy, 'cause on my feet
I love that. The kick hits and then the instruments come in. I love the call and answer.
now, thinking all night, dizzy, 'cause on my feet I'm a philosopher. I just wanna get on my thoughts.
That's pretty much it for the second chorus. It's very similar to the first chorus, and then we're moving on to the second verse.
With my thoughts,
Guitar here.
every minute, every second, trying to stop myself from spreading the truth. All these stupid conversations about celebrity relations taboo. I'm staying.
Okay, so there's a few things going on here. I had this Facey guitar that is going on, and there's 4 of them happening. So this allows me to like kind of build up chords within this moving line. I like it because when you have like a distortion like this, if sometimes chords just feel wildly different. Like there's one part here that's literally just a major chord and it sounds wild. I don't know, I love that.
I'm trying to stop myself from spreading the truth.
And hitting that bump, 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 bump motif. I don't know if it's a motif. Throughout this whole part, I have these little things that honestly took me like hours to make because I was searching for the right tone and I was trying to automate them to kind of fall how I wanted them to, but it just felt like stars falling to me. And to me, like that's like a very on brand thing for the song because the song is about being in your head and not be able to get out and spiraling at a party. So then like all the synths together are just like super subtle and pushing the vibe along. Go back to the first verse. And then we get these things. You know, we get like synths coming in, new synths coming in, but with the same guitar.
I'm focused now. Gotta let my mouth train with fragile hands. I'm on full lotus now.
feels underwater to me, and it's the perfect lead into the next section.
Now be, I got this under total command. Fuck it, well, pardon me, say.
I'm always thinking of like, how can I transition the energy here? How can I make distinct sections, and how can I cue the listener that, oh, we're going to a new section, we're going to the chorus, the energy is changing, the tone is changing.
Pardon me saying this, I don't have any.
In this section, I'm using pretty much just drums, guitar, and this spacey pad. And that's it.
Pardon me saying this, I don't have any excuse to be so rude, but the problem is he is inside of yourself.
So I doubled this up with a pitch down vocal behind it.
Pardon me saying this, I don't have any excuse to be so rude, but the problem is he is inside of yourself. I'm a pretty self-dude.
I'll do this sometimes. I have two different versions of Little Altar Boy here, and so one is pitching it down, and the other is pitching it up, and it just creates this weird formanty feeling.
Pardon me saying this, I don't have any excuse to be so rude.
It gives it a really nice dimension. It's really weird. So together with the vocal, it sounds like this.
Fuck it. Well, pardon me saying this, I don't have any excuse to be so rude, but the problem is he is inside of yourself. I'm a pretty self-dude. I know that.
And then I double that with the snare. That's one of my favorite moments in the song.
I'm a pretty self-dude. I know that I'm sounding self-righteous.
It's a fun little moment. I like that. I feel good about that. And then it just keeps kind of heading on this path, you know, things add in, but we're still keeping that guitar and that spacey synth as like what's the identifying part.
We can stand to grow, and I know this is true because I haven't stopped thinking since I was in the womb. Pretty much all that, pretty much can't
To
stop.
the Aloha
Pretty
guitar.
much over pretty much everything but this drop. Pretty much ruining pretty much everything that I touch. Pretty much burning pretty much every bridge that I got.
Now to the breakdown, and this is something I was like, man, people are gonna love this or gonna hate this, but I think that's a good sign that I should keep it. I wanted it to go somewhere different. I didn't want to repeat another chorus in the same way. I just like wanted it to be a journey. It felt like this whole song was a journey, and so I wanted it to be even more of one. So I just like put these like really like circusy chords here. And then I sang doo-doos over it. I literally sang like doo-doo. I recorded this 3 steps up and then pitched it down. And I also recorded it faster and slowed it down. So it just has this sampled feel. So that's the phasey guitar coming back in, and I'm just like chopping it up and using the same thing over that whole thing. And we hit the snare, the rim hit. So there's a change into a rim here instead of a snare. So what I did here was I took this vocal and I chopped it up into different sections and pitched it as I wanted it. I had this tremolo going to give it the but just a nice thing about that is you don't hear it when the sample repeats. You kind of hear it, but none. I mean, it works. I like it. And it just worked with the guitar. I don't know. I thought it was so cool. Bass comes in. So this is a bass straight from the Juno. I didn't do a lot to this bass. I pretty much left it as is because I like the sound of it. And so we have a synth bass, switch up to a synth bass. That. And then there's a feel change because the bass starts to go constant instead of following the guitar. And so we have this feel change because not only is the bass constant, but there's also a tambourine added in. And it's just, sometimes it's wild to me how little you have to do to make a space feel different. Another tremoloed vocal there. I think this moment's cool because it's the first time in the song that I stray from the harmony. Instead of going back to the da, I go to the da, the 7. It feels sinister to me. The harmony change. The 7 here. Yeah, so you've got this vocal, this like pitched up fucky vocal, also pitch automating at the end of the phrase. So then it's turning down. You know? And here at the end of the phrase is going to pitch up. So I just thought that was dope, and I heard it in my head, and I was like, yeah. Last thing to talk about is this vocal effect. It's pretty wild. Don't let me alone with my thoughts. Similar thing as before, I'm using lower octaves and higher octaves. So here's one. Some cool water to the face right now. Being all night, dizzy, 'cause on my feet I'm off. That's pitched up but formatted down. Format just being like the kind of the texture of the voice. You know, if I start talking like this, that's the format of the voice. It can sound lower or higher even though it's on the same pitch. And then these doubles around it. Which I believe are same pitch and just formatted down. So together you kind of get this like really wild sound. And that's the track. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Let me know if it's too heady. Let me know if it's not heady enough. Let me know what you think. Much love. Peace.